stay funky, gotta stay chic, yeah. And be everything that you know you can be, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Gotta stay funky, gotta stay chic, and be everything that you know you can be, yeah.
Welcome to the show. We're finally here. Funky but chic with Sir Wall. Simply about being human, being exactly who you are right now, not what's up ahead, not preoccupied with what has been, and not stuck in your present moment, but existing as yourself. Listen, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you found the show. Thanks for waiting. But more than being here at this moment, it's about the experiences that brought us all here. My journey in life, your experiences in life that brought us to this moment, so that this moment makes so much sense, that it resonates with your life. It covers the experiences you had and illuminates your present moment, and it gives you hope, and it gives you activation to move forward. Today is the first time that we're together. And so I want to talk about my why. Why am I here? Why the podcast? Why funky but chic? Why are you taking the time to tune in, to subscribe, to follow, and take interest in who I am, Sir Wall? Why does it matter about us being human? Well, for me, I feel like throughout my life's experiences, it has been my ultimate purpose and mission, intention, motivation, passion, angst, to help people unleash the power that's in them, to aid people in living the life that serves them best, not the life that I think they should live or others should encourage them to live, or what they're confused about, but finding the essence of who they are. That is my why. How I think about what I think about and what I do about what I think about is my why. My perspective on life, my angle, my point of view, why I see the world, the way I see the world, and how I consume and digest what everybody around me sees, and the perspective that I spit back, project back, broadcast into the world. That is my why. Why I see things as I see them, and why I do the things I do to be enlightened and empowered, and to help others unleash the power that is in them to upgrade the world. That is my ultimate why. In all of my experiences and places I've been in life, people I've met, things I've done, gain, losses, elevations, derailment, my why has been developed over time. So it's a time now that we're coming together, but there's so much experience and so much to tell, so much texture, so much color, idea, insights, so much depth into the why. It's not just because I can, because I don't believe just because you can, you should. There should definitely be purpose and reason in doing what you do, no matter how complex or simple. There should definitely be a reason which motivates you to fulfill a why, to grab a hold of a mission and an idea. For me, I'm just adding my unique signature to this podcast space, bringing who I am, my flair, influence, for the moment that would change a million moments after it. All while fulfilling my mission to help people live the life that serves their highest good. That's in the essence. I think I have found myself living out that truth in so many aspects of my life, without really recognizing it. Just doing as I do, being who I be, whether I had a full understanding or not. I believe that your form never changes your function. And what I mean by that is where you are, who you are, what's happening in your life. If you're not at your full potential, complete, clear expression of who you are, it still doesn't change the fact that you have a function and ability that you were created to do in the world. And that comes alive and it activates no matter what. I think the challenge is once you become aware and awaken and understand and embrace who you are, you become intentional, then your magic is not so erratic. It's always precision and intended and pointed and directed, always effective. You're always in a place where you're pushing it out to the world, opposed to slipping up and saying, oops, I got superpowers. Oops, I'm pretty good at that. It becomes, my intention now is how great can I be at who I am in this moment, because this moment is intended for me to show up. That is the essence of my why. And I bring you into this conversation in this way so that you can now fine tune your why, search for who you be, become who you've already been, all those things. This is a conversation between you, me, them, they, those, and others. You know, my guests will be here. You're here. We're going to take your questions and your feedback, take some of your own ideas, and so that we can all share them together and be a part of whatever is happening as we're experiencing this together. And so my why is because of my what. What was hard for me to fully understand about myself. What I needed to develop and harness for my public consumption to be effective in who I am. My why has now risen from the ashes of what I liked, did consistently, or whatever I chased or naturally came to me. I had to kind of weed through all that and determine, you know, someone thinks I'm good at this, or I think I'm pretty good at that, or I excel in this area. Somebody likes me doing this, and all those voices amidst my own uncertainties had me stuck in chasing things that I am good at, I'm capable, and I can do, and I'm effective here. And there's a demand, there's an interest, but there's also something else that I do naturally in my sleep, and not just in my sleep, but is tied to my character, to my makeup, to my energy. That is the magic that's inside me that is always present, whether I excel at one area or not. And those other areas are just support mechanisms. They're tools to carry the mission forward, to support it. And I just happen to have a number of tools in my tool chest that help push me forward, help me motivate, help me uplift, and to provoke people in becoming who they are. And so for me, it's been throughout my life. I've always been in a common place, as I would say, in my dealings with people in the church, people outside of the church, people attending live events for entertainment purposes or promotional purpose, people who listened to me on the radio when I was on the radio years ago, people who need support and guidance in my day-to-day work, you know, as an advocate for truth. So it's always been about the people, you know, and so in essence, that's why I grab and always kind of coined this phrase, people magic, the essence of who people are, being human. We live in a society where we're always trying to become better and be on top of things and outdo ourselves or someone else. And we never take the time to just be settled in the fact of who we are right now, without all of the other amenities and special things and things that make us shiny and look good. Just the essence of who you are, your heart, your mind, your character. Those things that make you who you are, no matter who you're around, whether in a crowd or by yourself. Those are things I'm trying to just elevate, because that is your why. That gives you essence of being, intent of purpose, of fulfilling your life. And you never want to overlook that, trying to be something else, somebody else, or hold another posture. And it's very easy to do from various aspects of life, whether you have education or religion, or you're just winging it. You're out in these streets. Your purpose and why you show up in a room and where you go and who you rock with is quite essential. And I wanted to start this journey off with funky but chic, with establishing that, putting that in perspective and helping you understand, one, who I am, and how this may go, and believing that it will resonate with you whenever you come into this show. If you hear it again, or someone shares it with you, it'll capture you right where you are, and you're at the place of traveling through your life and understanding what you've experienced and shedding light on what has been beneficial, what has been a challenge, what has been a lesson, but understanding that if you put all that concoction and mix it together, that it becomes a guiding light and a beacon, a North Star for you to say, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I experience. And you don't listen to the chatter in the world that could throw you off track, because just because people don't get it doesn't mean you don't got it. Oftentimes we can feel like that we're the only ones that see who we are and maybe understand, and that's enough. Having a soul tribe of people who align with your perspective, your factors, and your truths and theories makes a difference. And that comes in time as you understand your why, because then you project your why, you promote your why, and people that understand and resonate with that will align with you. But what's most important is you understanding who you are, and always being that person in every platform. And that is a luxury for many of us, because I just believe oftentimes we find ourselves trying to keep up with what's more popular or seemingly more acceptable. But the privilege of living a lifetime is becoming who you truly are. And that only happens over time. It comes through trial and error. It comes through losses and gains, hurts, being mistreated, being taken advantage of, being lied to. Sometimes, slacking on yourself and not taking enough consideration for yourself. But you got to realize your sensitivity is a strength. And so you need to be transparent in and of yourself, about yourself, so that you can become yourself. This all points back to to self, which to me is the people magic, which I believe that makes the world go round. The differences of who we are, we're not rare. There's just a unique expression of the same thing. But it's important, because without your expression, the uniqueness of it, there's no difference in what I'm offering, and what I'm offering doesn't impact what you have to give. But if you put them all together, we have something that somebody needs. Somebody's going to hang out with the podcast long term. Somebody's going to come in and grab one episode or two episodes because it resonates. And that's all I want. I want people to understand I'm here for you. I'm willing to reveal who I am to help you understand who you can be. And that's the entire reason I'm going to be here, with guests and topics, of all natures and all kinds. My background comes from broadcast media. I was in radio in the nation's capital for some years, and I worked as a morning show producer as well as a personality in gospel music for many years. So I am now the gospel personality formerly known as Holla Walla. And that was in the gospel sphere. But over time, growing and having some real hard, definitive life experiences, I thought that it would be much more beneficial to carry the message and word that was specific and unique to me under another brand, another motivation, another energy, as Sir Wall, lifestyle ambassador. But I believe the heart of me is the same man, same experiences, just a broader audience, a broader voice, a broader tone to reach people, to reach humans, to impact the world in a greater way. And I believe that energy speaks, and the heart of people speaks to the circumstances of people, and however it resonates when it finds you, it's intentional. So nothing lost, only things gained through elevation and development. So people magic is the thing that really grabs me, because I realize that there are inherent abilities that people possess, and often, again, they're overlooked. They're undervalued. And I want you to tap into the simplicity of who you are and develop it and grow it. and become just who you are without the influence, without the recommendation of other people. But when they align, to take them as affirmation, go and grow, and more importantly, do it now. Y'all, in everything we do, we just trying to stay funky and stay chic. I wanted to say that I started to own my own impact and my presence of who I was when I stepped away from some of the familiar. You know, when I ran in the church community, you know, people knew the name, the presence, and that was a great support. But then when I stepped away to unknown platforms, there was no point of reference, there was no brief, or there was no sizzle reel or biographical chat, who he is, where he comes from. But I started realizing the impact was the same. From the bishop to the bus driver, you know, a word of encouragement, a word of insight, a word of hope, a word that could change a million moments after it is what I was able to do in all platforms. And so I didn't want to limit myself to what it looked like only within the walls of the church, nor negate the power and the strength of that fellowship, but understanding the Spirit is always present at all places, at all times, with all kinds of people. It's not limited, it's not restricted, it's not reserved for a certain type of person. It moves among people, as they say, heart to heart, breast to breast. It makes the impact. And so I took that in the community. You know, when I worked in live event marketing and promotions and those live activities, you know, all kinds of people who were inebriated and coming from different walks of life, still able to make a connection and impact, because I realized, you know, many people communicate, but few connect. And so linking the people, catching their heart matter, catching where they are energetically and spiritually, that was something that I was able to capture and understand, and then provide social guidance to people in my everyday abilities in my career. It's just a thing there that it was always people. It was always the uplift and tapping in and provoking the potential of who people really are. So again, I come back to unleashing the power of people and aiding them to live the life that best serves them. That becomes the why. That becomes the funky but chic. That becomes all the things that we touch in this world. And now that we're here for you. We're here for you to help you work out, initiate discussions that develop who you are, who you will be, how you show up in your family, how you show up in your community, how you show up in your church, how you show up in your career, how you show up in your creative space, how you show up and impact the world, and how you take ownership of all the things you've always dreamt, things that you were afraid to reveal, things that you have yet to acquire, places you are looking to experience and visit. That's why we're here, to have lighthearted, in-depth, heavy, trivial conversations that help you become the person you already are, to take advantage of what was deposited into you when you were born, when you were created, when you were released into this realm, and to agitate that and to wake it up. If it's sleepy, to tap into it again. My why would never let me get away from what I'm doing now. I have been preparing this show for a long time. A lot of it has been just personal transitions, preparation, resources, and the ability to find a place to say, this is where I'm comfortable being. This is what I'm comfortable saying. This is what I'm comfortable revealing. This is what I want the world to know. This is how I want to be seen. And I'm willing to be seen and be visible, not for the vanity of it, but because there is purpose and reason for it. And so I believe everything that has happened to my life, I've experienced, seen, felt, and heard up until the moment that I opened this mic, has been what is necessary to make this a reality for me. I've seen proven results in my life with experiences with people, with work that I've done. And as I saw those results, I became more convinced and more intentional about where I would go and what I would do and who I would connect with and how I would lend my name and or influence to someone's effort, and how I would elevate and cultivate my unique expression and ability to impact people. It's my thing, it's what I do. In your face, making noise. I do this with my personal friendships and my family. I care, I'm passionate. I'm a Scorpio by design and to the core, and I am always pushing and pulling in every aspect of life. For some, it's too much. That means it's not for them, or they just need what they need and go on. But I've learned not to shrink myself, to reduce my ability and my impact to accommodate someone else's inability to embrace it or interest to even engage it. And that's fine, because there are enough of you out there listening who will tell somebody else, this is my kind of guy. This is my kind of show. Check it out. And it's not just my voice alone, but it's my voice, presence, and energy combined with everything else that is shaping your life. So I'm just another part of the tapestry. But I do want you to subscribe and follow our content, follow our effort, follow my life. You are my friend. You are my folks. We're here together. We're being human. And it's a very natural, organic, and most powerful thing that we be exactly who we are in the earth, to impact the people, bring them something they need. There's only something you have and I have that we can give them. So understanding your why, your purpose, your mission, following the North Star, however you say it, it is the idea of honing in and focusing in on who you are, who you be, and how you be who you be, and being who you be and nothing less. And always being who you be, always showing up as yourself, wherever you go, whatever you do, however you engage. I think there's a quote that says, how you do anything is how you do everything. I think that lends to character and intentional living. Nothing random, just not running up on something. I don't just happen to be here. There may be a greater purpose for being here than I know, but I did intend to be here for a purpose, and then therefore I benefit from the greatness that is locked up in the universe that I didn't know I would experience. But I'm where I am. I know who I know. I go where I go, and I do what I do because it is an intentional effort on my part. And I believe when you know who you are and you're confident in who you are, which is a ever-knowing process, you move like that. And so my why is to help you, to influence you, to impact you with my unique expression and abilities, and to bring my friends to the table to talk about their experiences. And you hear our exchange and you hear their points of view, and you identify and find yourself in it, and you even offer insights yourself. This is about us. This is about us coming together as a tribe, as a movement, to peel back some of all the people pleasing that we've done in life. Letting people get by on us, to mishandle us, to abuse us, to overlook us, to mishandle the gifting and the energy that we have, and to pull that back because they don't deserve it and we deserve more. But in that, finding yourself in the why of yourself, you start looking at that in a very natural way, and it's okay. And you're okay with saying no without an explanation. These are not new boundaries and restrictions. They become new to us after we've had the experiences that have pushed us to the top and to the brink to say, no longer will I live that way. So it's those things that in my natural expression, which is a mix of wit, brutal honesty, Intense passion and deep caring, all delivered on a high voltage pulses of energy. I say to people that when I'm up, and when I'm down, meaning if I'm awake, as long as I'm awake, energy is flowing, it's popping. It's always a strong energy. If I'm resting, asleep, or otherwise, I am at rest. And so I say that to say that I'm always activated. I'm always active. I'm always intentional. I'm always a lot. I'm always, some may say too much, but I'm always me. And I've become very comfortable with me. I get me. And so I'm intentional about creating me. I'm self-aware. I'm intentional about promoting me, protecting me, elevating me, escalating who I am, developing the best about me, and developing the whole of me. So the presentation of who I am is as I believe it, as I see it should be, and that it has the appeal to those who are listening, waiting, expecting, and looking to experience me. So in all that I'm saying, welcome to you. Welcome to who you be. Understanding some of my why, I hope, has brought you to a place of thinking and rethinking, realigning and recalibrating, making sure you're living your why. Making sure you're aware of your why, what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what really triggers your nervous system, what gets you going, what drives you in the world, and finding a way to create a platform to serve that message and that idea to people who are listening, who are hoping, who are anticipating, who are looking for a way in and a way out, who want to be stable, who want to be free, who would like to be understood and engage people who can understand them without them always translating their soul, that you can speak loudly and proudly, and then you also can communicate effectively in silence. There is a underrated peace, truth, and confidence in these safe places that we often just, take for granted. When people like us or we feel comfortable somewhere among our tribe of friends where we don't have to prove anything, you take it for granted. But everybody's not living in that kind of peace and awareness. They're hiding from things. They're dealing with things from the past that they haven't resolved, and it's carrying over into their life and becoming things that they thought they would never be, and they don't know how to get back to where they need to be or what's best for them, and they've now committed to other people for other reasons, and their ideas and thoughts are influencing them, and they find themselves so far down that rabbit hole. It's like, how do I come back? There's too much in life to undo, to overdo, to fix, but it's possible that you can fix it and fix it. It's when you come into your why, you become a little more brutal in your ability to ruthlessly cut away those things that no longer serve you. Consequences in them, yes. The biggest consequence is losing yourself. That's why understanding your why and always, all facets of life, helps you to create a balance. That why should show up in your family. It should show up in your own character. It should show up in your career. It should show up in your faith-based activities. It should show up in your community. It should be a consistent thread in who you are. There shouldn't be the inconsistent gaps and uncertainties and different faces and masks that say who you are. There should be something consistent, the texture, the color, the mood, the tempo, timbre of all that. Something about that should be consistently seen, shown, and impact who you are. And those things become your indication of your why. Some of these are, trigger statements and popular thoughts, but I think in the realm of humanity, it's still always important to understand the why, and understanding that your why is not always an exact, but it is a constant. So your why is kind of aligned with who you be. And while it may not always be exact, meaning you may not be doing the same thing with your why or your being existence, but it is always the same output. Maybe a different job, a different position, a different part of the job, but it is always saying output, meaning you are making the same investment, effort, and intention in what you do so that the outcome is representative of who you are. You feel me? And I say that because we can get locked into my why is this today. It is always this. So if your why is serving people, it may be volunteering. It may be a nonprofit. It may be mission trip. And so I say that so you don't get locked in thinking it should just be that one thing at all times. And if you switch up, that means you are all over the place. And in most cases, I believe you're never lost. You know, people misquote the statement that the quote, what's that? Jack of all trades, master of none. And there's so much more to that when it talks about, you know, really being in place and understanding that at least having clarity on that one means much more than and having no accomplishment in any particular effort. And so they use that to cheapen the fact that people are diverse and have colorful abilities that feed into who they are. Our goal is to find which one is the leading voice of all, and then how to strategically position the other tools in our tool chest to help sustain, build, monetize, advance, propel, and bring fulfillment in our ultimate why. All those things, they're conversations, you know. These are ongoing conversations that you will experience throughout the podcast. You know, this why will come up again because it's a part of my heartbeat. It's a part of what I do with people and the things that we do and how we do what we do. So it's always a thing. It's not going to ever really go away. But I wanted to bring light and emphasis on it today, just to tap into your potential, to begin to provoke you to think, to consider, reconsider, go back to the vision board, think about it again, and begin to push things out into the world, to move yourself forward, to advance your efforts, to be unstuck, to be courageous again, to see the light again, to believe again, to believe what you're afraid to believe, to ignore the voices, to take the risk, maybe take another risk this time with better calculation, more strategic, but don't forget the dream. Don't let it go. It's not over. One of my favorite quotes are from Elliot George. She was a ghostwriter, I think back in the 1800s. Don't quote me on that, but the quote is, "It's never too late to be what you might have been." So wherever you find yourself in life at this moment, with this podcast, with this message, with this moment, it's not too late. Age is not a factor. Resources, not a factor. Connections, not a factor. The magic in you is ever present. From the first time you heard it and felt it, believed it and saw it, it still exists in you. It's up to you to curate your life. So welcome to you. It's the Funky But Chic podcast with Sir Wall. I am Sir Wall. I will be your host and your guide through these conversations, bringing you a plethora, a myriad of conversations and ideas and topics and angles and point of views, just for discussion purposes, for exchanges, to poke at your humanity, to activate the gift inside of you, to unleash the power of who you are, and to ultimately aid you in living the life that serves your highest good. So you live in this world being everything that you were created to be, that you live in this world and you're able to give back everything the hard times took from you, that you live in this world that every experience now becomes a triumph, now becomes goodness, now becomes grace, now becomes magical, and you give back to the world in an energetic way, that you uplift people, that you support people, that you help people become who they need to be as you have gone through the experiences and life journey to become who you are. It's just really giving back and heart to heart and depositing into people and making exchanges and being fully manifest in this world as the deity you are. That is your why. And it comes under, various banners and different vernacular and terms, but in the essence, we're talking the universal, we're talking the Godhead, we're talking the broadness of the Spirit, we're talking that impacts all people of all races, ethnicities from across the globe. And if you only know people on your block, in your city, then you don't understand how they live in another area. And you can't speak to that. But we realize that we, in essence, as I've said, are all the same and not so rare, just unique expressions of the same thing. But that matters. It matters significantly. So listen, keep up with us. We are on Instagram at FFBC Podcast. That's for Funky But Chic Podcast. Follow us there. And we're building our other socials, but we're going to be there. We want you to follow us from all across the world. And shout out to the, early adopters who linked in and grabbed a hold of the promos that we've been running since the top of the year. And we're finally here, both in the States and abroad. Thank you for listening. We're here now. Let's go. You can expect new shows available every Monday, wherever you get your podcast. Lock it in. Funky but chic. We're Sir Wall, where we are proud of, we recognize, we celebrate, we shout it out. We have no shame of being human and being exactly who we are, who we were born to be, who we've been able to create out of what we've come through, out of our circumstances. We've developed who we are. We maintain who we are. We're proud of who we are. We kill the shame of who we've been. We embrace the essence of our people, magic, even when it's tragic. Stay in your magic. You are good enough just as you are right now. Not with the extra money tomorrow, not with where you're going to travel in 2 weeks, but as you are right now, feeling good about yourself or feeling difficult. You're good enough. Don't ever give up on you. Never slack on you again. Walk away when people don't understand who you are, and always rock with the people who rock with you. That is your telltale sign of who's loyal, who belong. People who rock with you. And when the rocking feels icky and uncertain, disengage. Yeah. It's all about your why. It's all about who you be. And it's all about all of us living a life that serves our highest good. I'm going to see and talk to you real soon on the next episode of Funky But Chic. I'm Sir Wall. Talk soon. Be well. Today's musings are empowered by Bishop Ralph L. Dennis, the senior presiding prelate of the Kingdom Worship Center in Towson, Maryland, USA. And I was under his leadership. He would spit this quote out so often, and just texturized my life. Be who you be it now, and nothing less. One of those moments that changes a million after that. Also, my friend Vicki Johnson from the Washington, D.C. area, heard her speak some years ago and jotted this nugget down, which says, your form doesn't change your function. And it just resonated so much with me from that time up until this present moment. No matter where you are, what's not happening, what you look like, what you feel like, or what life really is, doesn't change who you are. And also, got to shout out myself, Sir Wall, for this quote that just came to me out of a moment of inspiration while on air. Believe what you're afraid to believe. And I want to say thank you to me for believing what I was afraid to believe. and even afraid to believe what I believed. All those life experiences you didn't know you needed. Meanwhile, we just stay funky and we stay she.